word that comes to mind when I think about the Brisbane Heat is inconsistent. The way their team has been set up in the past, they're a very hit and miss. They'll either score a lot of runs very quickly, or they'll fall in a heap and can get bowled out pretty quickly. The Brisbane Heat's history, they won the Big Bash in 2012-13. They've always had match winners, especially from a batting point of view, with Chris Lynn being one of the best T20 batsmen in the world, and also Brendan McCullum. But yeah, the biggest challenge has been able to score runs consistently, because they're all guns blazing. The way they've set their team up, they do go hard. So no matter what the situation is, yeah, the biggest challenge has been their inconsistency. The players that I'm looking forward to for the Brisbane Heat is, no question, probably my favourite batsman of all time is AB de Villiers. To have Mr. 360 to be able to come in and play in the Big Bash, he's only available for the back end of the tournament, but it's going to be amazing to be able to see what he does in the Big Bash. He's still as good as he ever has been, so it's going to be amazing to be able to watch him. Chris Lynn, he's one of the most devastating T20 batters in the world. He's always done incredibly well for the Brisbane Heat and at the Gabba as well. It's a great place to be able to bat. They've also got a young guy, Tom Banton, an English guy who's come in, who I've just seen recently in the T10, and did really well in the T20 competition in England. He's a highly skilled T20 top order batsman, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes coming into playing out in Australia. They've always had Ben Cutting there as well, who is a great backbone for their team, to be able to know that if the team's in trouble, he can get them out of trouble with a bat and ball. And there's the overseas spinners, Majib. So they've got some quality match winners there. My captain for my 11 circle team would be Chris Lynn. He's just had such an incredible Big Bash tournament. There's never a tournament that goes by where he hasn't scored a lot of runs. He hits a lot of boundaries, a lot of sixes. So I'd have to say Chris Lynn. He's always in the thick of it, especially in the Big Bash. The Brisbane Heat's strength is no question their power hitting and their power batting, but that's also has been their weakness as well if it hasn't come off. So to be able to have the inclusion of AB de Villiers, who's still at his peak of his powers, to come in. You've also got Ben Cutting, who's at the peak of his powers from a batting point of view as well, and Chris Lynn, who's always got a point to prove. So yeah, their huge strength is their power hitting. So if they come off and are more consistent throughout the tournament, then they're going to score a crazy amount of runs. The Brisbane Heat's bowling has always been one of their challenges and one of their weaknesses, especially from a fast bowling point of view. They haven't had that many high quality T20 fast bowlers. They've got Majib, who's a quality spinner. He's got obviously a mystery spinner. Also Zaire Khan, who's a quality Chinaman. So those inclusions are wicket takers, but one of their biggest challenges and their weaknesses has always been their fast bowling, especially at the back end of a T20 game, to be able to close out the game. So we'll take a look at the Brisbane Heat squad. A couple of players who really stand out for me is Ben Cutting, who from an all-rounder point of view, he's a quality bowler. He knows how to get himself out of trouble from a bowling point of view as a power hitter. Zaire Khan, a Chinaman from Afghanistan, is a wicket taker. Ben Lachlan is a great inclusion. To be able to get him from the Adelaide Strikers, he's going to have a huge impact, and especially at the Gabba when the boundaries are a big square. He bowls the ball into the wicket quite a bit. He's got great variations. And James Pattinson, if he's available, is a strike bowler, more so in the first six. He's more so just running in and bounces or hitting the wicket. And Majib as well. He's someone who does really stand out. He's a wicket taker. They've got a good balance of their squad, but it's normally their players in between which their depth can be challenged at times. I think the Brisbane Heat, because they are inconsistent, they could have an amazing year and everything comes together and they could win the tournament. But just because they're inconsistent, I think they'll finish probably around 6th. Go make your team on my 11 circle.